editing Temi, and I just wanted to come on and say this week's vlog, week 5 of the Road to Upgrade, is a little bit weird. I was going through a lot of personal things this week, and I was visiting a friend and I just was in a bit of a weird mindset. So it's not very long, and there's just a few clips of me talking about my current stage that I'm at of trying to submit my upgrade report. Nevertheless, I hope it is still a transparent and authentic perspective and point of view of what I'm going through at that point. And yeah, other than that, enjoy the rest of the vlog. Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Temi. I'm a PhD student, a part-time PhD student, and I study the internet. More specifically, I study the web actually. I study social media applications on the web and also on mobile. My particular research area of interest is this concept of digital intimacy, and more specifically I'm interested in Black women's experiences of digital intimacy in the context of friendship. So now that that's out of the way, it is actually a bank holiday here in the UK, which is like a public holiday where there's no work, people have a day off. But when you're freelance and also doing a PhD, it doesn't really mean anything. Although it is much later than it would usually be when I start my day. I decided to sleep in / PMS told me that I was sleeping in. And then I went to the gym, and now I'm back, having just showered, and I'm getting ready for my day. This morning, I'm probably not going to do anything PhD related, but I wanted to come on and record because a lot of people have asked me, like, is it difficult doing a PhD? Also, a lot of people, 4 maybe, is it difficult doing a PhD? And I really didn't understand when I was looking and thinking about starting a PhD myself, just sort of like what it means to do a PhD. And this is a lot different if I think you're someone who works in the sciences or maybe STEM when you're in a lab, but if you're a social scientist or if you work in humanities, or if you're like me and you're interdisciplinary, especially if you're like media and communications scholar like myself or critical internet scholar like myself, there's a lot of just thinking. And I have been thinking since last night about my theoretical framework. So my theoretical framework, sometimes called a conceptual framework, is basically how I'm going to be analyzing the themes that come up in my data collection. Is there a specific theory that I'm using to apply to analysis, right? Like that's sort of like when theory has been one way of understanding theory, but also theory can be theory building, so ways to understand a type of phenomenon or behavior. And because I'm looking at an emerging behavior, an emerging concept like digital intimacy, I'm more interested in that, and I'm pulling from different concepts like diaspora, like critical internet studies, like friendship, like interiority, to try and develop a framework for analysis. So basically I've been thinking about this because it just sort of became clear in my head that the way that I write my PhD, my thesis, is to have a theoretical framework. And I had a theoretical framework in my master's dissertation, but for some reason, I initially had thought that I wouldn't use one for my PhD thesis. But last night I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm gonna have my introduction, I'm gonna have my literature review, and I'm gonna have my theoretical framework, my literature review, and then my methods. It just sort of became very clear to me. So that's been on my mind. So I might just do like a free write to get some of those ideas out. Other than that, I have co-working with Emily. It's a Monday, so we have co-working in the afternoon together. And for the rest of the morning, I'm probably just gonna do some life admin. I am feeling a bit anxious because my supervisors are going to be returning feedback some point this week, perhaps today, on my literature review draft, which is my first full draft of that. It wasn't like the draft that I wanted to submit, in the sense that I'm just so accurately aware of where I am in my thinking and where I really think that my thinking can go. But it's just like the nature of doing a PhD, your thinking is always changing and you're just not there yet. And so part of that work is like working in the open, getting accustomed to sharing unfinished thoughts, sharing the vulnerability of like where your ideas don't feel like, you know, you're not like, yes, bitch, that was a sentence. So I'm feeling a bit anxious to get feedback because, you know, I'd be reading these books and I'd be reading these analyses and I'd be having my own thoughts, but like, who knows? Am I understanding it correctly? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think I am, but also I could just not. And for me, that is part of the real insecurity, one of the real sort of like hard things about doing a PhD, particularly in transdisciplinary work or interdisciplinary work, because there is no sort of like outline. There is no pre-work that has been done to sort of like show you the way. You're creating new knowledge. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. A little bit anxious, a little bit meh this morning. I'm just about to come onto my period. Thankfully, I feel like I have fully recovered from my long COVID crash. And so I haven't been feeling a lot of the extreme fatigue that I do get when I am feeling really bad long COVID symptoms. But yeah, I will probably come back once I am co-working or once I have something interesting to share.
Not sure if you can hear me. I'm at a cafe right now. I got my feedback from my main supervisor. My other supervisor is on holiday, I think, so he hasn't been able to respond to my chapter. I was so anxious about the chapter because I feel like it's so much done, but I got really great feedback, and I just feel not validated, but like validated in the sense that I'm on the right track, and very happy because I worked really hard, and it's hard to know if you're doing the right thing, if you're thinking about things not like in the right way, but it's hard to know if your understanding of the literature, if your critique of the literature, if your interventions of the literature make sense. And it's just really great when you have your supervisor, who obviously is much more experienced than you, is able to give you that nudge to be like, yes, you're on the right path, keep going. So
Okay, I am back at home and I'm about to jump on to a co-working session with Emily. I don't think I'm going to do that much work today. I think I might do some planning, if anything. I need to edit my literature review. I have finished my introduction, I finished my literature review, I finished my methodology. Those are the three main sections required for my upgrade report. And so I am probably just going to finish submitting, I'm probably just going to finish editing my literature review because now I've got feedback, but not today because I don't feel like it. So I'll see you